I'm Orla, an aspiring fantasy author with the goal of completing the first draft of my first novel by the end of 2026. This is week one of my 145-day Draft 1 challenge. So, a couple of days ago, I uploaded a video introducing my 145-day Draft 1 challenge. It's a bit of a mouthful, but essentially, I've been uploading videos here on YouTube for a couple of months now, and in most of the videos, I start off by introducing myself as an aspiring author with the goal of completing the first draft of my novel by the end of the year. And as of the end of June, beginning of August, I had written a grand total of 3,000 words of that novel. Now, I'm writing a fantasy novel, and the average length of a fantasy novel is between 90 and 120,000 words. So I thought it was about time that I just got myself into gear, give myself the kick that I needed, and actually locked in to try and get this draft finished by the end of the year. Then I sat down and I counted how many days were left. And if I started the challenge on Saturday, the 8th of August 2026, that would give me a nice round number of 145. Otherwise, I would have had to start the challenge with 147 days left. And God forbid we should do anything with a weird number. It has to be round. So that was what got me started with this idea of giving myself a challenge, getting it done in the 145 days between last Saturday and the end of the year. The next thing I did was think about how many words was I going to aim for my first draft. Initially, I was thinking 90,000 words, but if the average fantasy novel is between 90 and 120,000 words, I felt 90 was probably going to cut me a bit short. So, to add extra challenge, I set my total word count for the end of the year at 100,000 words. Now, when I sat down and I crunched the sums, that means I'm averaging about 670 words a day. Up to this point, I was feeling really good about myself if I got 200 or 300 words written in one day. So you can see I've really set the bar high. I spoke in a previous goal, I spoke in a previous video, I think, how I like to set achievable goals for myself. But sometimes I also like to go completely off the wall and really aim high. So I've set up a little spreadsheet for myself. I'll put up a little screenshot here so you can see what it looks like. And you'll see I have my countdown of how many days are left in the challenge. I have my day of the week, and that's just so I can remember for myself when I want to post videos. I'm going to try and post a weekly update every Wednesday. And then I have the date and I have my daily goal. Now, my daily goal is not static, as you'll see from the numbers. My daily goal is constantly being recalculated. So I have my daily count for how I've written each day, and then I'm using that to calculate a running total of words. And then I'm also calculating how many words of my total I have left. And then based on those remaining words, I'm calculating my running goal or my daily goal. So you'll see that it started off as 670 a day, and I didn't meet my goal 2 days out of the last four. So my goal has gone up a little bit to 673. So ideally I would hit my goal or exceed it every day so that my daily goal count can drop and I can take the pressure off myself, or maybe take a day off if I'm not going to be doing any writing. So that's the general structure of the challenge that I have set for myself. If you would like to join me, please do. I would love to feel like I'm not in this alone. Um, I don't have enough subscribers at the moment to do live streams, but once I hit that magic number, I would like to do live streams of my writing sprints so that we could all write together and maybe form a little bit of community around it, which would be absolutely amazing. I am part of a few other little booktube, authortube communities that do writing sprints like that. But I think when I'm trying to be this ambitious, the more the merrier. To be honest, let's be real. The more the merrier. Um, the reason I feel that this is a really ambitious challenge, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who think 670 words a day, that's piece of cake, no bother, I can do that easy peasy. For me, it feels like quite a lot because I work full time, I have a young family, I have a lot of responsibilities, as do most people. We all have a lot of things going on in our lives and we're all really, really busy. And I'm trying to fit my writing in around reading, which I really enjoy, and spending time with my family, which I really enjoy, and making videos on YouTube, which has actually turned out to be quite a lot of fun. Um, so it is a challenge, especially when once I break down my day and look to see how much time I have to myself, I probably end up with 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the day. So, yeah, like it doesn't feel like a lot of time. That being said, I did record myself writing 670 words at the weekend just to see how long it would take. Now, this this came with a bit of a caveat, I suppose, because the scene that I was working on that day was one that I've been thinking about quite a lot, that I had planned intimately in my head, and I had written out a plan of 10 bullet points that I wanted to tick so I could mark the scene. Well, to be honest, it's actually the chapter as done. So when I did sit down for that writing sprint, I just sat down and I wrote. There was no thinking, there was no pondering. I had my checklist and it was tick, 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 tick. Have I included that? Have I included that? I still need to write this bit. Okay, that's done. And that's the way I want to approach my writing in general. I've spent weeks and months outlining this book. I'll do a video at some point on the outline structure that I'm using, but I have spent a really long time outlining this book. Some would argue too much time outlining the book and have it become a distraction rather than a tool for actually writing the book. Um, so I do know what is going to happen. I know what order of events I want to happen. I know what character arcs I want to describe. And I've broken it down to my four sections: my introduction, um my description, my twist, and then my conclusion. And within those, I have all the beats, all the scenes that I want to write. So now, as I'm going through it, I've switched to a little bit more of a discovery approach rather than a planning approach. And I'm finishing a chapter, thinking about what I have planned next in the story, outlining the next chapter or couple of chapters in more detail. And then I find that that's made it much easier for me to actually write what I want to write. So that is where I am in terms of writing and outlining. I am currently in I've just finished my second chapter and I am about to start it's technically my sixth chapter because I'm writing two perspectives, but I'm really locked in with this current perspective. So I've decided that I'm going to skip the next two chapters, which introduce the secondary. Sorry, I've decided I'm going to skip the next two chapters that introduce the other protagonist and focus on this main character for as long as I want. I might keep going with them until the two characters meet, or I might keep going with them until I reach a point where I'm ready to put that down and go and develop the other character. So I'm trying to be relaxed about it, trying not to put too much pressure on myself, while at the same time trying to aim for like 700 words a day. So, that being said, how did I get on today? How did I get on this week? Um, this week was a short week because the challenge started on Saturday and today is only Wednesday. I haven't done any writing yet. I'm hoping to get a little bit done after this video is recorded. So, out of my 4 days of writing, as I said, I'll pop up the Excel again. Out of my 4 days of writing, I failed to hit my goal twice, but then I did exceed my goal twice. But the amount I exceeded it by did not balance out with the amount I didn't. Um, I don't mind so much. Saturday we had family obligations and we had to travel a bit to see family. So by the time I got home and we put the kids to bed and we did all the house bits, oh, I've just realized that's not in focus. I don't know how long that wasn't in focus for. So I'm just going to sit back. I think I'm leaning too close to the camera, so it's having depth perception issues. So, as I was saying, Saturday we had family obligations. I didn't have a lot of time when we came home or a lot of energy. So, I only did one writing sprint and I got 310 words with that one. Then on Sunday, we had a bit of a lazy day. The kids just ran around the garden and played for most of the day. So I managed to get 370 words written while they were playing. Now, any parent will tell you there is no such thing as uninterrupted time when you are with young children. So I was really pleased with those 370 words. I got them written while being interrupted to fix this toy that we've broken and open this box that we've closed and color this picture with me, and I'm hungry and I need to use the toilet, will you wipe my bum, all that kind of stuff. So I was really pleased with getting those 370 words, and then after they went to bed I went back to writing and I ended up getting another 300 and something ish words done. So that was for me a really successful day. Then Monday, again, it's like first day back at work after the weekend. I was tired. I only did two, I think I did two writing sprints, but they were both really spotty. I was getting really distracted, and if I'm being honest with myself and with you, I was going on my phone. You know, you'd pick it up to Google how to spell a word or what what a group of puffins is called, and then you somehow end up on Instagram and then there goes half an hour. So yeah, Monday was probably not my best work. But then yesterday I hit a real stride. I got 748 words written. I was writing while listening into an online stream of somebody else doing writing sprints, and I just find that when I do that, it just gets me in the zone so quickly, and I'm able to focus and just bang out what I want to write, especially when I've done the planning and the outlining. So last night was really successful. Tonight, given that it's already 10 o'clock at night, I will get a sprint done. I'm not going to hit my goal, and that's okay. I think trying to hit that goal while recording a video is really ambitious. So I'll do a sprint, see what I can do. The sprint will probably be about 25 minutes, and then I'll call it quits. And tomorrow is another day, and we will try again tomorrow. So that is all I have for you for my week 1 summary of my 145 day draft 1 challenge. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it maybe motivating. Maybe you want to join me on this challenge. I mean, I will welcome any and all participants. Leave a comment below if you're going to join in and what your daily goal is going to be. And I will see you all really soon. Have a good one. Bye.